A long time ago, the Israelites lived in Egypt. At first, life was good, but after many years, a new Pharaoh came to power. He did not remember Joseph or how the Israelites had helped Egypt. Pharaoh saw that the Israelites were growing in number, and he became afraid they might become too strong. So Pharaoh made them slaves. He forced them to work hard, building cities and doing heavy labor. Life was very hard for the Israelites. They cried out to God, and God heard them. One day, God spoke to a man named Moses. Moses had once lived in Egypt, but now he was in the desert, taking care of sheep. God spoke to him from a bush that was on fire, but the bush didn't burn up. God told Moses, "I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring them out." Moses was afraid. He didn't think he was the right person for such a big job, but God promised to be with him. God gave Moses signs to show Pharaoh that the message was from him. So Moses went back to Egypt with his brother Aaron. They went to Pharaoh and gave him God's message, "Let my people go, so they may worship me in the desert." But Pharaoh said no. He didn't believe in the God of Israel and refused to let the people go. In fact, he made life even harder for the Israelites. Then God sent plagues and terrible events to show his power and to persuade Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. First, the Nile River turned to blood. Then came frogs, gnats, flies, and sickness for the animals. People got painful sores. Hail fell from the sky and destroyed crops. Locusts came and ate what was left. Darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. Each time, Pharaoh said he would let the people go, but when the plague stopped, he changed his mind. He kept saying no. Finally, God told Moses there would be one last plague. Every firstborn son in Egypt would die. But the Israelites were told to mark their doorposts with lamb's blood, and the Lord would pass over their homes. That night, the plague came, and Pharaoh's own son died. It was a very sad night in Egypt. Pharaoh finally said, "Go, take your people and worship your God." So Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt. They were free at last. God was faithful, and he kept his promise. This story teaches us that God hears our prayers, even when it feels like nothing is changing. He saw his people suffering, and he acted at the right time. It shows that God has power over all things, nature, rulers, and nations. Pharaoh was the most powerful man in Egypt, but even he could not stand against God's will. It also reminds us that God uses people, like Moses, to carry out his plans. Moses didn't think he was brave or strong enough, but God helped him every step of the way. Finally, we learn that freedom is important to God. He doesn't want his people to live in fear or slavery. He brings freedom so we can worship him and live in his ways. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.